back to another episode of Arnie's Fisheries. Today, we are... Hold up, I gotta go with some chapstick.
Got your chapstick?
Yeah, I did. Alright, you continue.
Today, we are going to be doing 10 crucial brim fishing tips.
And cue the intro. Let's start with tip number 1, where to fish for brim.
Yes. So, we've got our pond, and normally the places where I target first is if there's a log jutting out into the water, because brim love cover.
Yeah.
And
There's a log. This is also, right here, you can see this is a point. Points are good for fishing.
there's normally lots of rocks in a
Yeah.
steep pond. Also, if there's some weeds in the water, I like to fish those. Because it's another great hiding place.
Maybe also if there's like a tree covering the water and it's surrounded with fish.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's good for fishing.
Because on a hot day, it's very shallow pond. Also, if there's a shallow part,
Yeah, like
it'll be great for spawning
Yep.
baby brim. And also, if it's a smaller pond, there might not even be bass or catfish to eat them, so they won't need this cover. But it's still a great spot to fish.
Yes. Is that it?
I think that is.
Alright, let's move on to tip number 2. Alright, moving on to tip number 2, that is
Diet.
the brim's diet. So, what would you say is in a brim's diet?
Insects like beetles, grubs, also worms and slugs.
What else? Crickets,
Yeah, crickets. Those are part of insects.
minnows.
Minnows. And the babies will get eaten.
They'll eat plankton. They'll eat plankton, yeah. So, we'll just magically draw that.
Yes.
Ta-da! So here we got crickets, grubs, plankton, worms, minnows, and insects.
Yes.
What would you say is the most eaten out of all those? If you were just to guess.
Worms.
Probably I would say that.
Well, for natural stuff, probably minnows.
Or maybe plankton, actually.
Oh yeah. But the smaller ones, they'll
Yeah.
eat plankton.
How many of these things have you used to catch brim?
All of them except plankton.
I have only used grubs. I think I've used crickets once and worms. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I use bread most of the time.
Yeah.
But that's for another tip.
Uh-huh.
Alright, moving on to tip number 3. Moving on to tip number 3 is,
What to use?
so what do you normally use, guys?
I normally use anything I can find. Right now, since it's frosty and the ground's like really hard, I'll probably use something that I can catch into the water, like minnows. Because the worms are going to be deep.
So you use worms, right? You use crickets.
Yeah, I use worms, crickets, grubs. And actually, fun fact, grubs are like the larva of cicadas.
Oh,
You didn't hear that.
interestingly disgusting. Fun fact, I have actually never, or I've only used crickets once and never caught a fish on them.
Wow.
Even though everybody says they're the best brim bait ever.
They
alive,
float on the
like,
surface
ever.
and they vibrate and they get actually very good.
They don't kiss the ass too.
Like some blow-ups.
Yep. My main thing that I use for brim is definitely bread. Like, that sounds weird, but it's true. And bread catches me a lot of
Do
brim.
you use like stale bread?
I mean, I just use fresh bread. And just crumble it up into a ball, hold it very tight, make it really small, fish it on the hook, and you got a fish. And then I also use worms a lot too, but that's it. Alright, so we got Elias, basically uses anything, and then I use worms and bread. Yeah, that's pretty much it. red, I would say catches the most fruit. In my opinion. At least at our lake house.
Worms.
I don't know. Maybe we can have an argument about this at the pond. See which one catches more. If we can find worms.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on to tip number 4. Now we're going on the time of day. I would say in the morning about 8-ish, 8:30-ish to maybe 10.
Sometimes it's best at 6:30. But it just depends when you wake up.
Why don't we say 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Yeah. That's about my time of day I would normally fish.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go up late and try to fish for brim and then catch catfish, but that normally doesn't work. Alright, tip number 5.
The seasons.
What do you think is the season that you like to fish
Well,
with?
spring is like the spawning time. Summer is like post-spawn. And fall is when they try to get big and fat for the winter. I'd say it's fall.
I would say spring and fall.
Yeah, spring and
Does that
fall.
work?
Because out of winter, because in the winter they get deep.
Yeah, winter is just like dead for every single species. Like literally.
Unless you have ice and you don't have ice.
That's not what we do.
Yeah. We live in Georgia. Yes.
Although we might ice fish eventually. It could happen.
Spring,
Good.
summer,
Okay.
fall,
Good.
winter.
Bad. So obviously spring and fall are best. Summer and winter are bad and okay.
Yeah.
If you're a pro fisherman, obviously you could fish in winter.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be as easy.
Yeah. And some people, that's the easiest time on them.
So let's move on to tip number 6.
We basically kind of have like
This is a newer version and mine's a bigger reel.
they're Berkeley Cherrywood HD.
Yes, that's true.
These are great flexibility for brim,
Really
trout.
nice rods and they're really cheap too.
Yeah. It's like 30
So we
bucks,
got-
20 bucks.
Yeah, about $30. And the reel is like
Yeah,
so it's about $50 in total.
The reel is a laser light speed spin blues. And I have the 75.
Ta-da! So we got our setup is the Berkeley Cherrywood HD 5.6 light and the loose laser light.
And the total
is about $50.
Yeah.
This is a great combo.
Yes. For brim, trout, anything small.
And also the buyer's guide. Make sure you get a smaller reel. Tip number 7, I believe, is spawning. When do they spawn, Elias?
They spawn in the spring,
Spring?
after winter.
So, like, what month would you exactly say they would
I
spawn?
think it's like around May, June.
I think it's mid-April, or late April to May.
Yeah.
So the spring months that they spawn would be about like late April through May, I would say.
And post spawn is
Around June.
summer. Yeah, June,
Yeah.
July.
Okay, alright, Elias, so do you cast?
I do.
You cast to brim. Really?
Yes, because at the lake where I fish at, it's Lake Huey in South Carolina. Lots of times the brim are a little deeper because I shore fish a lot.
I normally don't cast. I normally just drop it down in our boathouse and just like let the fish shoot it. Yeah.
I lots of times, but I mostly only cast when I'm fishing with the lures for the bigger ones. Rowan, do you drop yours down to the very bottom?
Occasionally, when there's like a big brim at the bottom, sometimes if you drop it down, they'll like dart after it if it hits the bottom.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I just keep it. Most of the time, I just keep it like mid, like 75% of the way down if I'm fishing shallow about.
Yeah. And lots of times brim, if it just hits the bottom and isn't moving at all, they love, lots of times fish and brim, they love it when the bait is falling and moving.
That is true.
That's when they strike.
Yep. Elias, do you bait the water when you're fishing for brim?
I don't actually, cause
Well, I guess when it's you never really use bread, and bread's the only thing that you ever like. You don't want to waste your live things, right?
yeah. If you have extras, you can set them free if you want to. But like occasionally, sometimes I do, but I don't really, cause I don't want the brim to be satisfied with how much food they eat, and they don't want to eat my food.
So when I use bread, normally I bait the water just so they can come to that general spot, and then I can catch them.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the only time I ever bait water. And I'll never bait water if I'm using worms, unless I have like thousands of worms.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste my worms.
Yeah. You don't really want to waste live bait.
Nope. All right, let's hit the pond.
See ya.
Here at the pond, let's start catching some fish.
Yeah.
Oh, is that ice? Wait, Elias, is that ice? Oh my gosh, Elias, is the water ice? Holy smokes, that's ice. Guys, look at this. I don't know if the camera's gonna be able to see it, but that is ice. Half of the pond is in a thin layer of freaking ice. Wow.
Oh, watch this. I'm doing a cast on.
What in the world?
But people have thrown rocks on it.
Time to go ice skating, Elias. Break out those mad ice skating skills. Okay, maybe we should throw a rock down there. Oh. Yeah!
Oh,
Yeah. Yes, sir! Elias, how do you feel that you're now a pro ice fisherman?
feel amazing.
First fish of the day.
Wow, that's a whopper.
Probably the only fish of the day. Now we're going to show y'all the good places to fish around the pond. So here's a nice little tree that's going to provide some shade for brim fishing.
This is where those jut outs that we were talking about.
The points. That's a small point.
Yeah.
The bigger points are better, but that one still might work.
There's a
That's a
fog
good
on
tree.
Fog.
That's a really good tree.
Yeah. Big bass all in there.
Yeah.
And brim.
Another tree. Another turtle. Here's some reeds.
Oh, look, there's a water.
There's a really good tree. It's a nice tree.
There's some ducks that might be frozen. Are they sleeping?
Oh, I right here is a corner of the pond, pretty much. So that's like, it's like pretty much the opposite of a point, but it's actually really good. And there's an enormous rock over there.
Yeah.
I can't zoom in, but there are also some smaller rocks over here. And that is
Loads of brim
really
here.
good for brim fishing. Another tree. Some giant bushes, but that's not in the water, sadly. Yeah.
Alligator could be in there.
Oh, there's some more reeds. Reeds over here. Line of trees, and that is a ton of shade. Perfect for brim fishing.
I almost caught a bass there.
Oh yeah. This part wouldn't be too good. It's just a flat. It's not very good.
There is a rock right there.
Oh yeah, that's
Watch
true. There's a nice overhanging bush / tree. That's a tree.
Yeah.
It's basically like a horizontal tree. This dock up here has some really good shade.
Yeah. There's tons of fish. And wow, this is a massive beech tree.
Oh yeah. Here's a huge line of trees.
Oh yeah.
Look at all that.
In the summer, when I fished here, I saw like massive bass.
Oh yeah,
This
that's true.
big.
I remember that. Yeah, I was with
We
you.
tried to catch them with frogs.
Nothing worked. But now we know how to fish this pond with bass. But that's for another video. I'm pretty sure there's a nice drop off right here. And that's a nice spot to fish.
Holy crap.
Ooh, wow.
The fountain is on.
Yeah, now it's on.
That scared me so bad.
Guys, you know the best place to fish ever?
In water?
No, this. It's called a trash can. Right, Elias?
You can get some nice trash fish.
Oh, yeah.
Also called crappies.
And we're gonna finish off with these reeds right here.
Yep.
Nice set of them. As you can see.